Governance plays a crucial role in developing smart and sustainable cities in Africa. With rapid urbanization, cities face tremendous pressure to provide basic services, manage resources, and ensure a high quality of life for residents. Effective governance can address these challenges by implementing strategic policies and fostering collaboration between various stakeholders. This essay explores how governance shapes the development of smart and sustainable cities across the continent, focusing on key elements such as urban planning, infrastructure investment, regulatory frameworks, and inclusive governance. Governments in Africa are increasingly recognizing the need for smart city initiatives that leverage technology to enhance urban living. These initiatives aim to create cities that are efficient, sustainable, and resilient to future challenges. However, achieving this vision requires more than just technological solutions. It necessitates a governance framework that supports innovation, accountability, and citizen participation. By understanding the critical role of governance, African cities can pave the way for sustainable urban growth. In addition to addressing current urban challenges, governance must also anticipate future needs and trends. This forward-thinking approach ensures that cities remain adaptable and resilient in the face of changing circumstances. Effective governance can help cities balance economic growth with environmental sustainability, creating a harmonious urban environment for all residents. The following sections will delve into the various aspects of governance that are essential for shaping smart and sustainable cities in Africa. From strategic urban planning to international cooperation, each element plays a vital role in the continent's urban transformation. Strategic urban planning is the cornerstone of developing smart and sustainable cities. It involves creating long-term visions and roadmaps that guide urban development, ensuring that growth is managed in a way that benefits all stakeholders. In Africa, this means integrating smart technologies and sustainability into planning processes to create cities that are not only livable, but also resilient and future-proof. One key aspect of strategic urban planning is the use of data and technology to inform decision-making. By leveraging data analytics, city planners can gain insights into traffic patterns, energy consumption, and public service usage. This information allows for more efficient resource allocation and helps identify areas that require intervention. For instance, real-time monitoring of traffic can help reduce congestion and improve air quality, contributing to a healthier urban environment. Sustainability is another critical component of strategic urban planning. African cities must adopt green building practices, promote renewable energy sources, and implement policies that reduce carbon footprints. This approach not only protects the environment but also enhances the quality of life for residents. Urban planners must prioritize green spaces, public transportation, and waste management systems to create sustainable communities. Collaboration between government agencies, private sector partners, and local communities is essential for successful urban planning. Inclusive planning processes ensure that the needs and aspirations of all stakeholders are considered, leading to more equitable and sustainable outcomes. Through strategic urban planning, African cities can chart a course toward a smarter and more sustainable future. Investing in infrastructure is vital for the sustainable growth of cities. Infrastructure forms the backbone of urban living, supporting everything from transportation and communication to water supply and energy distribution. In Africa, where many cities face significant infrastructure deficits, targeted investment is crucial to meet the demands of growing urban populations. One of the key areas of focus for infrastructure investment is transportation. Efficient and reliable transportation networks are essential for connecting people to jobs, education, and services. Investments in public transportation, such as buses and light rail systems, can alleviate traffic congestion, reduce air pollution, and improve overall mobility. Additionally, developing infrastructure that supports non-motorized transportation, such as bike lanes and pedestrian pathways, promotes a healthier and more sustainable urban environment. Water and sanitation infrastructure is another critical area for investment. Access to clean water and proper sanitation facilities is fundamental to public health and well-being. In many African cities, inadequate water infrastructure leads to water scarcity and poor sanitation, posing significant health risks. Governments must prioritize investments in water supply systems, wastewater treatment plants, and stormwater management to ensure that all residents have access to these essential services. Energy infrastructure is also a key component of sustainable urban growth. Reliable and affordable energy is necessary for powering homes, businesses, and public services. Investments in renewable energy sources such as solar and wind can reduce dependence on fossil fuels and lower greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, expanding access to electricity in underserved areas can spur economic development and improve the quality of life for residents. Through strategic infrastructure investment, African cities can build the foundation for sustainable urban growth. By addressing critical infrastructure needs, cities can enhance resilience, promote economic development, and improve the living conditions of their residents. Regulatory frameworks play a crucial role in fostering innovation and ensuring accountability in the development of smart and sustainable cities. Effective regulations provide the necessary guidelines and standards for urban development, ensuring that projects are carried out in a manner that benefits all stakeholders and protects the environment. One of the key functions of regulatory frameworks is to create an enabling environment for innovation. By setting clear rules and standards, governments can encourage private sector investment in smart city technologies and sustainable practices. For example, regulations that promote the use of renewable energy, energy-efficient building materials, and smart grid technologies can drive innovation and reduce the environmental impact of urban development. Accountability is another important aspect of regulatory frameworks. Regulations must ensure that all stakeholders, including government agencies, private sector partners, and local communities, are held accountable for their actions. This involves establishing transparent processes for project approval, monitoring, and enforcement. By holding stakeholders accountable, regulatory frameworks help prevent corruption, ensure the efficient use of resources, and protect the interests of residents. Public participation is also a key element of effective regulatory frameworks. Engaging citizens in the regulatory process ensures that their voices are heard and their concerns are addressed. This can lead to more equitable and inclusive urban development. For instance, involving local communities in the planning and implementation of infrastructure projects can help identify potential issues and develop solutions that meet the needs of all residents. In summary, regulatory frameworks are essential for fostering innovation and ensuring accountability in the development of smart and sustainable cities. By creating an enabling environment and holding stakeholders accountable, regulations can support the achievement of sustainable urban growth. Section 5, Inclusive Governance, Ensuring Equitable Development. Inclusive governance is critical for ensuring equitable development in smart and sustainable cities. It involves engaging all stakeholders, including marginalized and vulnerable groups, in the decision-making process. This approach helps to address social inequalities and ensures that the benefits of urban development are shared by all residents. One of the key principles of inclusive governance is participatory planning. This involves involving citizens in the planning and implementation of urban projects. By engaging residents in the decision-making process, governments can ensure that development initiatives reflect the needs and aspirations of the community. Participatory planning can take various forms, such as public consultations, community meetings, and online platforms for citizen feedback. Another important aspect of inclusive governance is social inclusion. This involves ensuring that marginalized and vulnerable groups, such as women, children, the elderly, and people with disabilities, have equal access to urban services and opportunities. Governments must implement policies and programs that address the specific needs of these groups and promote their participation in the urban economy. For example, providing affordable housing and accessible public transportation can help reduce social inequalities and improve the quality of life for disadvantaged residents. Transparent and accountable governance is also essential for inclusive development. This involves establishing mechanisms for monitoring and evaluating the implementation of urban projects and ensuring that resources are used efficiently and effectively. By promoting transparency and accountability, governments can build trust with residents and ensure that development initiatives are carried out in a fair and equitable manner. In conclusion, inclusive governance is key to ensuring equitable development in smart and sustainable cities. By engaging all stakeholders, addressing social inequalities, and promoting transparency and accountability, governments can create urban environments that benefit all residents. Section 6. Climate resilience and environmental governance. Climate resilience and environmental governance are critical components of developing smart and sustainable cities. As African cities face increasing climate-related challenges such as extreme weather events, rising temperatures, and sea level rise, it is essential to implement strategies that enhance resilience and protect the environment. One of the key strategies for building climate resilience is integrating climate adaptation measures into urban planning and development. This involves assessing the vulnerability of urban areas to climate impacts and implementing measures to reduce these risks. For example, cities can invest in green infrastructure, such as parks and wetlands, which can absorb stormwater and reduce the risk of flooding. Additionally, implementing building codes that promote climate-resilient construction can help protect infrastructure and communities from extreme weather events. Environmental governance is also crucial for promoting sustainability and protecting natural resources. This involves establishing policies and regulations that promote environmental conservation and sustainable resource management. For instance, governments can implement policies that promote the use of renewable energy, reduce waste, and protect natural habitats. By promoting sustainable practices, cities can reduce their environmental footprint and ensure the long-term health of their ecosystems. Public awareness and education are also important components of climate resilience and environmental governance. By raising awareness about climate change and promoting sustainable behaviors, governments can encourage residents to adopt practices that reduce their environmental impact. This can include initiatives such as public campaigns, educational programs, and community-based projects. In summary, climate resilience and environmental governance are essential for developing smart and sustainable cities. By integrating climate adaptation measures, promoting sustainable practices, and raising public awareness, African cities can enhance their resilience to climate impacts and protect their natural resources. Section 7. Decentralization. Empowering local governments. Decentralization is a key strategy for empowering local governments and enhancing the governance of smart and sustainable cities. By transferring decision-making powers and resources to local authorities, decentralization can improve the efficiency and effectiveness of urban governance and promote more responsive and accountable government. One of the main benefits of decentralization is that it allows for more localized and context-specific decision-making. Local governments are often more familiar with the unique needs and challenges of their communities and can develop tailored solutions that address these issues. For example, local authorities can implement community-based projects that promote sustainable development and improve the quality of life for residents. These projects can include initiatives such as local renewable energy programs, community gardens, and neighborhood improvement projects. Decentralization also promotes greater citizen participation in governance. By bringing decision-making closer to the people, decentralization can increase opportunities for residents to engage in the governance process and have a say in the development of their communities. This can lead to more inclusive and participatory governance, which can improve the legitimacy and accountability of local authorities. However, decentralization also presents challenges. Local governments often face capacity and resource constraints, which can limit their ability to effectively manage urban development and provide services. To address these challenges, it is important to build the capacity of local governments through training, technical assistance, and financial support. Additionally, establishing clear roles and responsibilities between different levels of government can help ensure effective coordination and collaboration. In conclusion, decentralization is a key strategy for empowering local governments and enhancing the governance of smart and sustainable cities. By promoting localized decision-making and citizen participation, decentralization can lead to more responsive and accountable governance. Section 8. International cooperation, building global partnerships. International cooperation is essential for building smart and sustainable cities in Africa. By collaborating with international organizations, governments, and private sector partners, African cities can leverage global expertise, resources, and technologies to address urban challenges and promote sustainable development. One of the key benefits of international cooperation is access to financial resources. Many African cities face significant funding gaps for infrastructure development and urban services. International organizations such as the World Bank and the African Development Bank can provide financial support for urban projects through grants, loans, and technical assistance. This funding can help cities invest in critical infrastructure such as transportation, water supply, and energy systems, which are essential for sustainable urban growth. International cooperation also facilitates the exchange of knowledge and best practices. By participating in global networks and partnerships, African cities can learn from the experiences of other cities around the world and adopt innovative solutions to urban challenges. For example, cities can collaborate on projects related to smart technologies, climate resilience, and sustainable urban planning. This exchange of knowledge can help cities develop more effective strategies for sustainable development. Capacity building is another important aspect of international cooperation. By partnering with international organizations and experts, African cities can receive training and technical assistance to enhance their governance and management capacities. This can include building the skills and knowledge of local government officials, improving data collection and analysis, and developing effective policies and regulations. In summary, international cooperation is essential for building smart and sustainable cities in Africa. By leveraging global expertise, resources, and technologies, African cities can address urban challenges and promote sustainable development. Section 9: Challenges, Resource Constraints and Political Instability. Despite the potential for smart and sustainable urban development, African cities face significant challenges that can hinder progress. Resource constraints and political instability are two of the most pressing issues that need to be addressed. Resource constraints are a major challenge for many African cities. Limited financial resources can hamper efforts to invest in critical infrastructure and services. Additionally, cities often lack the technical and human resources needed to implement and manage complex urban projects. Addressing these resource constraints requires innovative financing solutions such as public-private partnerships and capacity-building initiatives to enhance the skills and knowledge of local government officials. Political instability is another significant challenge. In many African countries, political instability can lead to governance failures, corruption, and conflict. This can undermine efforts to develop smart and sustainable cities and create an environment of uncertainty and risk. To address political instability, it is important to promote good governance, transparency, and accountability. This can involve strengthening democratic institutions, promoting the rule of law, and encouraging citizen participation in governance. Climate change is also a growing challenge for African cities. Increasing temperatures, extreme weather events, and rising sea levels pose significant risks to urban infrastructure and communities. To address these challenges, cities must implement climate resilience and adaptation measures as discussed in previous sections. In conclusion, resource constraints and political instability are significant challenges that need to be addressed to promote the development of smart and sustainable cities in Africa. By addressing these challenges, African cities can create a more stable and conducive environment for sustainable urban development. Section 10: Case Studies, Kigali, Cape Town, and Nairobi. Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, is often cited as a model for smart and sustainable urban development in Africa. The city has implemented a range of initiatives to promote sustainability, including green building practices, waste management systems, and public transportation improvements. One notable project is the Kigali Green City, which aims to create a sustainable urban community with energy-efficient buildings, green spaces, and integrated public transportation. This project demonstrates how strategic urban planning and investment in sustainable infrastructure can transform a city. Cape Town, South Africa, is another example of a city that is making strides in sustainable urban development. The city has implemented a range of initiatives to address water scarcity, reduce carbon emissions, and promote renewable energy. One successful initiative is the Cape Town Water Strategy, which includes measures such as water demand management, investment in water infrastructure, and public awareness campaigns. This strategy has helped the city become more resilient to drought and ensure a reliable water supply for residents. Nairobi, Kenya, is also making progress in developing smart and sustainable urban solutions. The city has implemented initiatives to improve public transportation, promote renewable energy and enhance waste management. The Nairobi Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, NAMATA, is working on developing an integrated public transportation system that includes buses, light rail and non-motorized transport options. This project aims to reduce traffic congestion, improve air quality and enhance mobility for residents. These case studies demonstrate that with effective governance, strategic planning and investment in sustainable infrastructure, African cities can achieve significant progress in developing smart and sustainable urban environments. Section 11. Conclusion: the way forward for African cities. In conclusion, governance plays a pivotal role in shaping smart and sustainable cities in Africa. By implementing strategic urban planning, investing in infrastructure, establishing effective regulatory frameworks, and promoting inclusive governance, African cities can address urban challenges and promote sustainable development. Additionally, building climate resilience, decentralizing decision-making, and fostering international cooperation are essential strategies for achieving sustainable urban growth. Despite the challenges of resource constraints and political instability, there are successful examples of smart and sustainable urban initiatives in cities like Kigali, Cape Town, and Nairobi. These case studies demonstrate that with effective governance and strategic investment, African cities can transform into sustainable and resilient urban environments. The way forward for African cities involves continuing to build on these successes, addressing challenges, and promoting innovative solutions for sustainable urban development. By prioritizing governance and collaboration, African cities can create a brighter, more sustainable future for their residents. Through effective governance and strategic initiatives, African cities can lead the way in creating smart and sustainable urban environments that enhance the quality of life for all residents.